Well, I appreciate the opportunity that the Public Safety Committee provided us to try to explain what is in fact a very complicated issue. It's not a soundbite issue, but they gave us the chance to demonstrate the facts. The facts are the following. Number one, police work matters. Cops count. They've had an impact on the quality of life and level of safety in this city. Secondarily, yes, there have been coding errors, no doubt about it. We've uncovered more than the newspaper did. But the bottom line is, when you factor in those coding errors over the last 7 years, the trends are still favorable. All right, there are fewer coding errors now than there were 6 years ago when the system was new. And when you add those coding errors to the total crime rate, we are still moving in a positive direction. That's the important thing to take away from this.
Chief Flynn, your audit found 5,300 aggravated assaults underreported. Are you going to now that you know that there's errors, are you going to send those to the FBI for revision?
Oh, absolutely. The FBI, as a matter of fact, gives agencies 2 years to correct their numbers. Those numbers are corrected all of the time, although I would certainly assert it's a fairly large number. I'm not worried about it because the bottom line is we want to get it right. And even getting it right, when you adjust the numbers, we're still in a positive trend. The work of our officers has still had an impact on the behavior we're trying to deter.
It seems like at the core of some of this, at least from the aldermen, was hearing, as they say, from officers who say, hey, I know that changes are being made. This term of cooking the books has come up. What do you want to say to that as far as that issue and then those accusations?
It's very difficult to argue with ghosts. It's very difficult to prove a negative, if you will. We have an open book over there. We've done the work. The data is there to verify what we do. I don't have any doubt that we've had officers out there who had disagreements with their supervisors over what crime statute should have been used on a report. But officers don't do the coding. Supervisors don't do the coding. All right, the coding is auto-populated based on the statute that's plugged in. And I think we made a pretty good case today that the national codes don't pertain to individual state statutes. There's always going to be some problem in that area, but we're committed to making that problem as rare as possible. And I think our friends from Kansas City helped verify that it's certainly an issue not unique to us.
Sounds like you're looking for a new program.
Well, we may have to. We've requested money from the City Council to conduct a request for information, which is the first step in a request for proposals. So we want to see what's out there. We've had this computer system now for 7 years. We can demonstrate 7 years worth of frustration trying to get the company to respond to our concerns about it. There are other major agencies that have had similar concerns with it. I'm not laying all the blame off on the system, but it is a cumbersome system, and a cumbersome system combined with human beings is going to create errors.
Something that would have been caught by you guys eventually, or if it wasn't brought up? Or?
Well, I think one thing we've certainly demonstrated is that we weren't doing a very good job of auditing our own reports. It's something, obviously, we need to do a better job at, and it's part of our fix. Once again, there's a big difference between a bureaucratic failure and a bureaucratic plot. There's been a bureaucratic failure to the extent that I'm the chief bureaucrat, that I'm responsible for that bureaucratic failure. But the bottom line is that counting that bureaucratic failure into our crime data, the fact remains that work of our officers has an impact on crime, and that impact has been favorable over the last 6 years.
Now that you know about these errors, do you know what your error rate has been over the last 4 years?
Well, we don't know what the error rate is because we did a very similar thing to what you did, which we very specifically targeted those reports most likely to have errors. And when you target the reports you think might have errors, well, you're going to have a high error rate in reports you think might have errors. We have not tried to do a full-blown audit of the entire data system. We're going to attempt to do that on our own, and you heard some discussion about that. We're using a methodology recently developed by the University of West Virginia. Bottom line is, there has been no national standard for a full-blown audit like this, all right? So we're entering into new territory. If at the end of the day we've got the most accurate crime data in the country, well, then we'll be the champions of accurate crime data. But all major agencies have problems not dissimilar to our own, depending on the software system they use, the level of training our officers have received, and the quality of their internal auditing process.
Was it